And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. So this will just be live on just talking about Manosphere topics. Um, uh, um, yeah. So the show on the road. What to talk about Manosphere? The Manosphere. I don't think it's in turmoil. There's just some parts of the Manosphere can be hectic and chaotic, but um, I think the Manosphere is okay. I guess it's just like any other space on the web. Um, could be good, could be bad. Um, and what to say? The hate for the Manosphere that has been received by many, especially on the left, is interesting. Um, the hate that the Manosphere receives, yes. And what else? The left really hate the Manosphere because it goes against their feminist values, right? For women's rights and stuff. So, not that I'm against women, but I'm not against women. I'm not, but they completely advocate for women's participation in certain aspects of life. So, that's an interesting. That's always interesting to look and study about in the world, I guess. Um, uh, um, uh, For those who hate the Manosphere, I don't mind. A lot of people hate it anyways. Um, but a lot of people try to proselytize, right, to the other side because they feel that they just feel that the Manosphere is just bad. I guess that's okay. I don't really care. Um, the Manosphere can be problematic sometimes. It can be, but um, it's not the place for everyone or the space for everyone, but it's an interesting space nonetheless. It's supposed to be a men's space, right? But a lot of people have tarnished it with their bad behavior, with their bad intentions, with their just well, they're just tarnished it in general. I guess because there are a lot of bad people in general, so I guess there are good people too, but like bad people are neutral, are even neutral people are even more apparent in the world. So there'll be neutral and bad people in every aspect or ideology. Um, yeah, every ideology has bad people, good people, rotten apples, good apples. So uh, that doesn't even make sense. Canadian office, okay, whatever, whatever. I didn't even read that comment. It's just bullshit. Jesus Christ. I just Instaban. Oh, I forgot. Thank you. Oh my god. Thank you. I didn't even read that comment. I just banned it instantly. Doesn't even make sense what you wrote. Jesus Christ. Whoever the oh yeah. Never mind. Yeah. Anyways, interesting. When we were anyways, yeah, that's kind of yeah. Like first of all, Canadian office to tell them about what? That you're a cock? Alright, buddy. And and if you like seeing me spurg out, I hope you spurg out the wrong person in real life and you get badly hurt. I'm serious. Like, it's not acceptable. It's not okay. Um, yeah, I hope you get hurt one day. Yeah. And I hope you learn a valuable lesson from getting hurt, that you don't mess with people, and that you don't. Yeah, the Canadian office, well, that doesn't make any sense. First of all, a board of psychiatrists had to sort of process all that information about me, this my psychological profile, and et cetera, to sort of get my disability money to my hands. So it has nothing to do with the Canadian office. What? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, like it's a board of psychiatrists. Yeah, had to approve it, right? So to get me to have the disability money. So it doesn't really make any sense. Uh, Anyways, yeah. Anyways, a lot of trolling tonight, I guess. Or no, I hope it's not. But it was. Yeah, I agree. Uh, Two viewers, nice. Yeah, yeah, I agree. They would get badly hurt. Because I'm not wishing people violence, but like if you intend, like, it's different if you unintentionally anger someone, but if you anger someone intentionally, then that's a different story. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I hope someone I hope who yeah, I just don't know what to say anymore. Some people just like to push people's buttons and elicit a reaction, but that's not my thing. I guess I used to be like that, but you kind of mature after a certain age and start to realize that making people angry not really something you should do in your later years, especially. I mean, when you're younger, you're like, "Oh, okay, like, trolling is fun," but yeah, not something, yeah, you should do in your later years, yeah. Once you mature a bit, yeah. None of you are nice. Anyways. Yeah. One of you are nice. Yeah. Manosphere is such a weird place sometimes, but that's because the people are weird. I don't think the Manosphere philosophy or the ideologies isn't that bad, but people can be weird in general who reside within the Manosphere, yeah. But I digress. Yeah. July the 7th. Nice. Anyways. Um anyways. Um one very nice. Anyways. The manosphere are male spaces or masculinity spaces. Are full of not necessarily bad people. Well, it can be bad people, but a lot of crooked-minded individuals, let's just say. Um, not there are the major figures in the manosphere who have somewhat brains, just like in any space, I guess, even feminist spaces, right? And then there are there Um, there are a lot of crook-minded individuals in the manosphere, just like with any space, I guess. Ideological space, religious space, any space, blah, blah, blah. Philosophical space, yeah. But it's better. It's best to accommodate yourself and make adjustments if needed for, for um um yeah. Uh, Anyways, one we were nice. Yeah, one we were so tired. Anyways, um, how long has the manager been around? Per se, maybe it really depends what you consider the manosphere, because just the greater manosphere, the entire manosphere, that is, maybe since the 70s or something. That's when the more earlier. Okay, thank you. No, I'm not scared of you. I've confronted you many times. Yeah, thank you, but thank you. I don't need to deal with you anymore. Thank you. If you enjoy spurging out people, go spurg someone out in real life and get badly hurt. Yeah. I'd love to see you try to do that to someone else, because you won't last a second. Yeah. Thank you. You won't last a second in real life, I guarantee you. Someone who's not willing to put up with your bullshit, I guess. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Tarif bans everyone, guys. Thank you. I can ban whoever I want. I'm not gonna tolerate your bullshit. Fuck that. Fuck that crap. I don't have to. I don't need to. So why should I? Reviewers, nice. Uh, anyways, the new Superman movie is coming out. I wonder how that'll be like. Yeah, it's coming on July the 11th, right? So that'll be an interesting development. The new Superman movie. Uh, uh, two viewers, nice. Um, anyways, one viewer, whatever that guy is, I don't know. But, what was I gonna say? No. Alright. The Manosphere. The 80s and the 90s saw a spike in the Manosphere's movement and involvement of people within it. Not too much. It was mostly the late 2010s that we see more exponential involvement, and the 2020s, but to now, I guess. But it was until I think the Manosphere was just a niche movement, I guess, until essentially 2009. Why thank you. Why are you so interested in trolling me? Like, he's like, "Oh, I'm not trolling." Shut up. Like, get a life. You don't have a life outside the internet, probably. I'm a good person. Why do I deserve? Maybe bad things happen to good people for a reason. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, like, get, this is just sad and pathetic. Leaving all these hateful comments. For what reason? For me to read them? No, thank you. Just go fuck yourself. Regardless of who wrote that, like this is Jorge Alegre, as expected, but regardless of who would write that, like why, why would I waste time reading such negativity? It doesn't make any sense. There are better things to do with my time. I didn't even read it, by the way. I just ignored it. Right? It was a very abusive a comment. Yeah, probably. Anyways. Um, and you probably just want attention for some reason. I don't know why, but anyways, two viewers, nice. nice. Where was I? Right. The Manosphere. So the 70s to the late 2000s, not so mainstream, just a niche movement. 80s and 90s, there are a few movements that went around, I guess, in the Manosphere, but it's still a niche movement, still a small movement, underground movement, not too popular, and that's fine. But because it was overshadowed by the feminist movement and the leftist movements of the world. Um, uh, 1 year nice. Yeah, 3 years, alright. The ones for 3 you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, 3 years, nice. Anyways, 3 years, nice. It was 3 years. Anyways, um, yeah. What was I? Before I was rudely interrupted. Uh, Wonder. Oh, and anyways, just hate April shit. Uh, Interesting. Any new comments? No. Or alts per se. Anyways. Um. No comments. No more comments. Three viewers. Um. It's kind of pathetic, but okay. Yes. Uh, anyways. Um. The. Uh, um. Was nice. To even mention his name right now is just not even worth it. I don't care if he's talking about me right now, nor is he important enough for me to talk about. Um, yeah. Anyways, whatever. He's just an attention seeker. Whoever. He's just an attention seeker, whatever his name is. Yeah, I'm such a loser that you go on my streams just to troll and comment hateful shit. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You're a fan, by the way. But thank you. Regardless, um, if you like me or not. So thank you. You add to the viewership anyways if you're banned or not. So yeah, anyways. Regardless of who you are in comments or watching. Um 3 viewers, nice. Uh anyways. 2 viewers, nice. And well, the Manosphere's probably only existed for like 50, 60 years. Well, that's new. But I'm pathetic. I do. I do. Two viewers. 3 viewers. That's funny. He has no life. Yeah, he's a loser, and he doesn't have anything better to do but talk about me. That's actually quite sad and pathetic. Yeah. Um, since I'm such a loser, right? Yeah, you have to talk about me constantly, right? Pathetic, weak and pathetic. Thank you for notifying me though, no, because um, yeah, I don't know what to say. Wow. Anyways, the Manosphere. Why do I keep on getting interrupted by these weird comments? Not you, Hugh, but like other comments from like the. This is also funny. Yeah. Um, 3 viewers. Anyways, where was I? Right. The Manosphere. 4 viewers. Wow. Where are all these views coming from? Anyways, the Manosphere since the 70s to the late 2000s, right? Went on a slow rise to notoriety, I guess. Not, it wasn't too prominent in the 80s or 90s, but there are some movements that came into the limelight more so than the 70s, 80s, and 90s, of course, and then the 2000s. Late 2000s, it became mainstream, especially in the late 2000s. Um, and then we go to the 2010s. The late 2010s, it became like exponentially more mainstream. Um, um, what else? Now, like for the past 7 years, the past decade or so, let's just say decade because let's round up, I guess. The Manosphere has significantly increased in its scope of influence around the world, not just becoming a niche community to hundreds of thousands of people, but to millions. Yeah, yeah. That's I don't really keep track of that. Yeah, but that's interesting that you say that. Uh, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. Oh god, this is too funny. Um, uh, that is interesting. Yeah, yeah. The manosphere is weird. Yeah, at least I came to terms with it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's sad. Uh, hmm, hmm. That's funny. Yeah, it's funny. He's watching. That's kind of sad. Oh, really? That's interesting. Cougs is on. That's interesting. Where is it? Where was I? Yeah, that isn't true. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. How do I? That's interesting. Anyways, where was I? I wonder what the Manosphere holds for the future, but we can't really predict the future per se. But the past 10 years have been instrumental. Let's just say, let's round up to instead of sevens. Interesting. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's fun. Um, interesting. Uh, no, what do I want to do? I can't speak for them, but maybe I don't know. Um, yeah. True, true. 5 viewers. I wonder who's watching. Jesus Christ. Rick and Hugh. Yeah, and three others. Yeah. Anyways. It's funny. Uh, yeah, I agree. I agree. Uh, oh my god. Oh god. Oh my god. Anyways, the Manosphere is, or as a large, exponentially larger movement than it was like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. Even though like 15, 20 years ago, it was mainstream, essentially, like officially mainstream by all metrics. Um, and before that, it was just seen as some patriarchal movement by the left, underground movement, not too relevant, but seen as a threat whenever brought up, I guess, into the discourse or discussion. Um, the Manosphere is not wasn't necessarily a threat, but it was seen as a threat whenever it was brought up, and like this. That's funny. Yeah. Anyways, where was I? So before like 2018 ish, like even 2009, it was seen as a threat, but not. as an exponential threat to the feminist movement. Now it is like a huge threat. It's like the final boss threat to feminism, and like a final boss threat to feminism. And the left movement, which is an interesting development in the past 10 years, 10 to 20 years. Um, I love this space. I loved interacting with all the people. I don't necessarily like everyone in the space, but honestly, but I like it. Yeah, it's not the only space I interact with in the greater Manosphere, and I hope people realize. Oh my god, this is too funny. Um, no, it just plays League of Legends all day and does not even pretend. Oh my god, that is funny. Yeah. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. He is, yeah, he's pathetic. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. That's funny. Laugh emoticons for everyone. Yeah. Anyways, where was I? Right. Who are the main players in the Manosphere? I think who I forgot. Neil Strauss, Ross Jeffries, Mystery, Rollo Tomasi, definitely. Even though he's a bit quite hated in the Manosphere by a lot of people. I don't know. A lot of people in the Manosphere are hated for whatever reason. Um, who else? Well, Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson are more newer. I don't think they're considered part of the manosphere. They're just part of masculinity spaces. They don't even consider themselves part of the manosphere. So I wouldn't say Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. But I'm thinking like there's so many names that I probably forgot. But yeah. Oh god, that's funny. That's funny. That's fine. That's actually yeah, that's Roosh V. Oh, that guy. I love Roosh V. Yeah, kind of the truth. Um, Myron Gins, Carl Benjamin, um, Kevin Samuels. Yeah, Kevin Samuels for sure. Donovan Sharp, Better Bachelor. I think that's more newer. Um, PUA and Does Sandman count? I think I don't know. And MGTOW, Mystery Ross Jeffries. Does Milo Yiannopoulos count? I don't know. I'm just looking through AI. Honestly, let's see. I like that name, Milo Yiannopoulos. Yeah, beautiful name. Yeah, he's Greek, I think. Yeah, sounds Greek. Anyways. Oh god, that's too funny. Uh, Two viewers. Okay. Um, Ross Jeffries for sure. In the 90s, yeah, yeah, there were more Mystery and Ross Jeffries more active in the 90s. Sandman, yeah, he's considered a huge thought leader in MGTOW, right? So, um, oh my god, so tired. Oh my god. Um, Roosh V. I have a friend who used to know, who used to mentor, what is it? It's that same lawyer friend from New York. He used to associate or talk with or guide usually like he's like a mentor to the major manosphere figures for some reason. That's pretty cool that he talks to them, I guess. Yeah, he's like 41 or something, I don't know. 41, yeah, he's a cool guy. Talk to him a lot. I used to talk to him a lot, and he gives good insights, yeah, to manosphere dynamics. um um and masculinity, manosphere dynamics. Men's right. I think he's MGTOW and Red Pill. I think. And he's a cool guy. I still have him. I still am on Messenger. Yeah. But anyways, the 70s and 80s weren't like there were necessary bad times for the Manosphere, but they're just it's just the early stages of like how to say it, the Manosphere, right? You know, the earlier stages. So nothing much was going on there. On that note, oh gosh, that was too funny. Um, yeah. Did did they write any books on the chronology or history of the Manosphere? I don't remember, but it would be interesting if someone compiled that and wrote it and published it one day. Yeah, yeah. The whole history of the Manosphere from the 70s, from when it was in the earliest stages when the patriarchal or male dominated, how it transitioned from a male dominated society to female dominated society, and how it or feminist society, postmodernist society, and how it sort of transitioned. The manosphere went from massive went from just being the norm to a movement, right? It'd be interesting, if someone wrote about that history. Not anyone in particular, but I digress. It's a interesting movement. Yeah. Now we see the newer movements like the black pill and stuff, which is interesting. The red pill, yeah, I think, uh, yeah, it's a pretty no, it's not too old, but it's old enough to be considered um pretty aged, let's just say, in its existence or whatever within the manosphere. Yeah. Because most people within the manosphere nowadays are pretty young. Yeah, younger youth, especially the youth, have taken to the black pill and even the red pill too. Yeah, um, and yeah. I'm laughing like a jackal for some reason. Um, Probably just because of the comments, right, on my live stream. Um, but uh, 2 viewers, 2 viewers. Yeah, 55 years of the Manosphere. We could like people debate, right? Like, but I think the 70s was like the earlier years, yeah, with like Robert Greene and stuff. And I don't know if that's the name, but yeah, yeah, the Manosphere is a very interesting movement. Lot, a lot of people from how to say it, all over the world has joined the Manosphere movement, and I'm grateful for that because now, before then, like 7 years ago, it used to be a very small movement, and I was fearful that yeah, it could like because it was very small, that whoever is spreading the word of masculinity or the red pill or any kind of manosphere rhetoric would probably get swept under the rug and demolished by the feminist movement. But I'm glad that it's gaining momentum now, much more momentum than it has before. And I'm grateful that people, especially, and not to forget, that the people in the manosphere don't feel alone anymore. They have a safe space to interact with one another and sort of discuss the nuances of male struggles, successes, trials, tribulations. um, affairs with with regards to men and women too. Um, um, yeah, men and women. It doesn't have to just be men in the manosphere, but women too. But I just hope the women don't derail the movement or feminists in general, because the manosphere, it took a lot of hard work to get the manosphere to where it is right now for the people who are in it, and it would just be heartbreaking to see it just be derailed like that, by people who just have so much angst and hatred in their heart, and just doesn't understand why the manosphere exists in the first place. It's to sort of give men a space to talk, uh, and have discussions with one another. Even from the 70s to now, or regardless of which era of the manosphere you're from, I mean, this is this place should be a place we call home. Not necessarily a home, not necessarily like a temporal home or that we have, but like how do I say it, a psychological home or whatever, a place where we can just discuss, debate, have fun, be give insights as to what we think, um, how masculinity and certain things that are affected by by masculinity or whatever, like how masculinity relates to the world and at large, and it's been really corrupted by very toxic and corrupt people, admittedly, but I just, yeah, I just hope for the best for the manosphere. I mean, um, I'm always looking out for my brothers here, and sisters too, who support us. Um, um, uh, Jesus Christ. The first part of this chat was so crazy. Anyways, with that being said, how many viewers are there? It's just two on my phone and one here. So, oh, oh, oh. With that being said, one viewer, nice. I wonder who that viewer is. On a second thought, I don't really care, but um, that being said, I think it's time to bring this stream to a wrap. Um, I think I said a lot of the things I said in the stream before about the Manosphere, the history, right, from the 70s to now. But let's try to add something new. The black pill was an interesting movement. It's mostly about looks, right? Like, um, and that's an interesting take on like female attraction and certain aspects of gender dynamics. Um, and relation and sort of how women are attracted to men, so to speak. But yes, I think for both genders, looks do matter. Yes. Um, how much it really depends on the person, I guess. But looks do really matter for both genders, and I think everything comes after that. Personality, money, status, all come after looks. So, um, and looks does encompass more than 50%. Like I'll be clear about that. But most men are married. Yes, in the world, most men are married. So, but then again, like very few men get genuine desire from women. Probably one or two out of 1,000, are eight out of 10 or more. So, um, like I talked with Vlad about this, right? It's like one or two um, out of 10, out of 1,000 are genuinely attractive to women. So, yeah, I guess. But most men are married, maybe arranged marriage or I don't know. But yeah, the black pill is interesting, but uh, and the red pill is I find more fascination with the red pill because it's as much as black pillars like to deny that doomerism has nothing to do with it, that would be taking away an intrinsic factor that makes the black pill what it is. Um, it's what is that word? The no true Scotsman fallacy, right? They believe that just because doomerism is a negative aspect of the black pill doesn't mean it is a part of the black pill. I've seen that with a lot of leftists and communists do that too. Oh, there are violent aspects of the communists or leftists, um, uh, um, like the extremist elements. Let's just say, and they don't like to admit that that is part of who they are. But it's no true Scotsman fallacy. And I think the red pill. I disagree with a lot of red pillars that like game is the most important thing. I believe in lookism, looks maxing, but like not to the point where it's like where like you have to hurt yourself just because you don't look a certain way, or you have to disrespect others because they don't look a certain way. That's a complete asinine and bogus. Um, Personality maxing. Well, you sort of learn social skills when you're younger. Um, if you don't learn it properly, then you're essentially socially inadept or neurodivergent, as people would say, right? So it's basically common sense to learn social skills, right? So, um, and what else? Money and status, yeah, those are important, yeah. But not too important, but not too important. I think having the looks though definitely helps. But it shouldn't be something that leads to despair or anguish just because you don't look a certain way, right? With that being said, thank you for watching this. And is there any more comments? Um, no, but whatever. Send the stream. Who cares?